Let's go to the phone lines. We got Danny in Baton Rouge. You want to get a call 499-1045. Danny, what's going on, man?
Hey, good morning, guys. I guess I have to disagree with you. What you're saying is certain rules okay and certain rules are not. Okay, we're not talking about paying players. We're talking about paying boosters, paying parents, paying handlers, and that kinds of stuff. Okay, it's about integrity. I can't tell my kid if a kid cheated on his test because Wendy cheated on hers, and I don't think it's a bad idea. You know what you're saying, right? It's a rule, but you don't care. It's not a rule that you feel to enforce. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not on the strict enforcement. Yes, because I think that because I have some problems with the base rule to begin with, then I'm willing.
We're not talking about paying players, though, right? We're talking about paying parents and paying boosters, also, correct?
Well, you're paying. No, I mean the boosters would be paying the players and their families, which I have no issue with. But then yes, I do think it gets a little greasier when you're talking about middlemen getting their palms greased as well. And look, you're not wrong in that if you want to be strictly about above the board integrity, that this is this is a bad look.
You can't nitpick about what's right and what's wrong. Once you start telling kids, especially college kids, it's okay to do certain rules, okay, but certain rules are not okay. That's not what you're saying. It's like these kids get into a fight in a brawl, and one kid get his head blown off, or he was helping his friends.
No, see, look, that's a false equivalency though in my mind, Danny. I don't believe that all rules are created equal. It's like I said, there are some things that I find more offensive, and so if I kind of have base problems with the rule to begin with, then I'm willing. Like I'm not naive, man. I know what the call means, right? Like I know, I get it.
I agree.
I know what the comments look like.
I got no problem with paying players from the university standpoint. Like you say, when middlemen get involved in giving parents jobs and giving parents cards and uncles' names and stuff like that, that becomes a very slippery slope. Because now the kid it belongs to these kids. Now the kid owes them something, okay? And to say the coach is on the phone and talking to somebody and making illegal deals or whatever, I'm going to overlook that. The whole season's a wash now. But you can see that every win we got is gone because our coach is dirty. Whether or not you want to agree with him or not, the season is done. If I go in, my boss said, come in this morning and talk to him. I said, no, I'm done.
Yeah, no, look, on that, Danny, we are in agreement. An excellent call, Danny. If you want to get involved, 499-1045. Yeah, look, I see where Danny's coming from there, and he's right. If you were to tell your boss no, you would be fired, and the season is a wash. But this kind of calls something into focus that's almost a bit more maybe like philosophical or conceptual, which is, you know what you can't take away? Like you can vacate those wins, right? You can vacate the championship. What you cannot take away is the memories that were made Saturday night in the PMAC, the fun that was had, Wade Sims' parents cutting down the nets. Like these are irreplaceable memories, and people cherish these memories. And so if a majority of people feel like, you know what, whatever happens from here on out, it was worth it, then isn't that kind of what always handicaps the NCAA in the first place in this situation? And if you want to get into the larger conversation of paying players, the greasiness therein, paying boosters, middlemen, oh, you're not really paying the boosters, but paying middlemen, like a lot of this is a black market of the NCAA's own creation, right? The same way that prohibition led to massive increases in mafia crime, et cetera, organized crime. Like when there's billions of dollars to be made and you don't allow the labor any piece of that pie, of course there's going to be black markets that are created. Like, are we crazy? Of course this is going to happen. And of course it's become the rule of the day because there's so much money to go around, and especially in college basketball where you have only 12 to 15 players on a roster, there's just not that many people. Carson in Baton Rouge. Carson, what you got, man? Hello? Okay, who we got? Guy looks like Carson's phone dropped out. B16C Bayou Blue. Nathan, what are you trying to say? B16? Big C. God, your handwriting's terrible. Big C, what's up, man? What you got?
Hey, what's up, T-Bob, man? Enjoy the show. Enjoy you as usual, brother.
Thank you, man.
To me, I'm not justifying what Will Wade supposedly has done or is doing, but for the SEC to come out and start speaking and saying things, I mean, I hate to compare apples to oranges, but let's use Alabama's football for an example. I mean, in today's modern football, all that dominance, you'd think someone would check into their program, huh? I mean,
So here's the deal there. Here's the deal there, Big C. I'm going to give credit where credit's due. I'm not naive. There's a ton of cheating that goes on. If you're saying this is cheating, there's a ton of cheating that goes on in college football as well. Bama runs an airtight ship, right? Like, Bama could fly to space in that thing. There are no leaks. Everybody's on the same page. You think if the administration tells Saban to meet with him, he's telling him no, he's going in there and he's saying, look, I ain't saying anything. I run the show. So places like Bama and places like okay, Zion Williamson had a payment plan to go play at Duke or go play Kansas, right? He ends up at Duke. How is that? Do we think he just values Duke education? No, we're not naive. We know, but Coach K, there are no leaks. That is one other element that Wade bears culpability in all of this. He got a little sloppy.
So in other words, you're telling me they do a better job of cheating than we do?
I would say yes. I would say yes. Now, I'm not basing that on any factual evidence. This is just my opinion, but that is the feeling that I get. Nathan, who do we have next? Right. Excellent call, Big C. Thank you, man. Let's go to Brian in Baton Rouge. Brian, what's up, man?
Hey, see, the whole point everybody's missing in this is you're talking about dirty and pay. At this particular moment, we don't know anything. Nothing has been proven.
Yeah.
So why don't we stand behind our coach until we can actually prove something? I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm not saying he's right. But at this moment, what has he done differently that we didn't know in October?
Yeah, and that is where it looks like the LSU administration is just buckling under some recent bad headlines, right? I agree with you there. Now, Brian, as far as not knowing anything, this goes back to my point on whether or not you're offended by the base allegations. If you truly believe in the sanctity of college basketball, if you believe that it's clean and you should strive for that cleanness, or even if you just believe that you should strive for that cleanness, like if you think paying players is just really wrong, then this circumstantial evidence is going to look way more damning to you. If you don't have a problem with the allegations, then you're much more willing to push this thing to the limit and see if and you're going to wait until that eventual dead body is found. All right, when we get back, stay on the line. Daniel, others, and Metairie will get to your calls next. Welcome back. Loving the commentary in the Bayou Ford Huddle. Continue to get in there. Give us your opinions. Let's go back to the phone lines. We got David and Daniel and Metairie. Excuse me. Daniel, what's going on, man?
Hey, T-Bob. Hey, man, just wanted to call in. So I disagree kind of heavily with the guy, Danny, from Baton Rouge.
Mm-hmm.
That's my main thing on that. I think he had a moral stand. He was saying, you got to make sure you follow all the rules if you're going to tell the kids to follow one of them, which is fair. But I think an even more dangerous precedent would be to, I guess, show kids that you can persecute and put someone on trial and deem them guilty before they ever before they ever have their day in, I would say court, but I mean just day to explain themselves. And I think kind of the big disappointing thing with the league is suspending him. You would imagine any lawyer worth his salt would say, hey, until you go to get on the stand for this, don't say another word about it.
Yeah.
They're going to use whatever they have. So you're just not going to say anything else, not just so no one else can incriminate themselves. And they have that, excuse.
No, and to be fair, Daniel, I do think that's what the lawyer told. I would imagine that's what the lawyer told Wade.
Well, then, you know what the thing that drives me nuts with that, T-Bob? Then that's another situation where Joe Oliva couldn't take a day just to think, hey, man, is this the right play? No, because Dickie V's tweeting something out on Wednesday and Thursday. Let's suspend him on Friday. That makes sense. Right before that SEC championship, and you watch all those guys on that floor, the team that Wade built in a matter of months, and he took us from bottom dwellers to the top of the mountain. And more than anything, look, if they want to give us a postseason ban, ride it out with Wade. We're LSU basketball fans, man. I haven't seen us play. We live with LSU basketball postseason bans. We don't ever get. More than anything, circle the wagons.
No, look.
Don't give up, guys.
Excellent call, Daniel. Excellent call. I love the fact that, look, in my life, it's almost been like LSU's been on a self-imposed postseason ban. He makes an excellent point, and it's why people are look. To go back to Danny's calls about integrity, he's not wrong in the strictest sense, and it becomes way more hard to kind of judge this when you're talking about trying to teach your kids right, wrong, et cetera, et cetera. But here's the deal: the world is not black and white. Okay, it's filled with shades of gray, and not all rules are created equal. And the NCAA has at least played a huge part in creating this situation because they buried their head in the sand for years when it comes to these type of deals. And so they've allowed a black market to completely flourish. Let's go to Tommy in Uptown Line 3. Tommy, what's up?
T-Bob, how are you, bud?
Doing well, man.
Good. This is not in a call in any way to defend Joe Oliva. But who's Joe Oliva's boss?
F. King.
And F. King Alexander is a short-term president at at LSU, who's got political ambitions to be at a bigger and better school. Okay? Any other chancellor or president at a SEC school knows their bread is buttered through athletics. This guy doesn't get it. He's never been an athletics president. He's never supported the program like he should. And it's coming from F. King. Joe's complicit in it because he obviously is taking orders from Alexander. But at the end of the day, you've got a guy who's got higher ambitions to be at a school that is at least perceived to be a better institution, and he doesn't want to be seen as having put his head in the sand. That's what I think the problem is.
Look, that's an excellent call, Tommy. I can't speak. Okay, I can't speak to F. King's motivations. But what I do feel like I can speak to just outside looking in is what I said earlier. Wade not taking that meeting shows there is no trust between F. King and Oliva and Wade. Like this is not like other schools, or maybe you get behind those closed doors. If you want to be honest about kind of the dirtiness there, maybe you start to formulate a game plan. Okay, let's make sure we're all on the same page. What do they know? What do they don't know? Maybe you can't even tell me that, but we just get in there. We kind of hash out what we're going to do moving forward. If you had full trust in your AD that they had your back and your president, they had your back, then you would do that. That trust is obviously not there, but that is an interesting concept, right? Is Oliva sometimes almost like, the Goodell to the NFL owners, how Goodell tends to be that lightning rod for really accomplishing what a lot of the NFL owners want, but Goodell ends up with the blame. Is Oliva almost a fall guy for F. King? Ultimately, does that even matter though, right? A lot of times perception determines reality, and right now the perception is that even with Will Wade denying that meeting, most seem to think that this is the LSU administration caving to national pressure. And once again, where it does look bad is like you're already pot committed. They're going to take the season away. They're going to take the season. If they're going to be in the postseason, they're going to be in the postseason. Let the FBI investigation play out. See what happens in an eventual NCAA investigation. I would have pushed things to the limit. Make them find the dead body. All right, when we get back, hour number 2 of Off the Bench. Thank you so much, everyone, for getting involved. We got a ton still to get to. Basketball. We also got more baseball talk coming up. Keep it right here.